Guys, just let me know if the audio is fine. Because, like, I seriously just won't know if it's paused. Also, wait, let me move myself to the right side. Whee! I'm back. Go.
Hi, I'm just a
Hi.
fat little Asian man, and this is a video that I made. Pretty much just trying to make sense of Asian racism.
Okay.
Honestly, I thought it'd be fun to talk about and just kinda uploaded it without much thought.
Finally, you learn about the culture of my country? Sweet. I'm keen to learn about the Philippines.
To my surprise, a lot of people watched it, and the comments sparked some interesting conversations and experiences about racism. But there was one topic that consistently popped up in the comments: Balkan racism. And yeah,
I've heard a lot about the Balkans. Apparently, they're all like the same people, but they're all racist to each other. That's what I've heard.
I wasn't familiar with it at all. If this Balkan racism is anything like, or even bigger than Asian racism, naturally I wanted to learn more about it.
Yeah, we need to level up our racism, chat. We can't stay here on, this beginner tier. We need advanced racism.
The more I researched, the more I felt this sense of deja vu. The mentality of we may
A dead goat lover, pickpocket, and NATO shill.
hate each other, but are united in our dislike of others, seemed oddly familiar, like a distant cousin. And then it hit me. Asia's most competitive racism
Don't state
server,
the obvious, I'm doing it. Okay.
Southeast Asia. Now, some of you might be thinking, what could the Balkans and Southeast Asia possibly have in common with each other
Racism.
when they're separated by
Hello,
roughly
I cursed. How
10,000
you doing, man?
kilometers with completely different histories, cultures, and languages? Trying to find
You see, racism transcends races. That's why it's so beautiful.
meaningful similarities sounds pretty dumb.
Work,
And
work,
okay,
work.
yeah,
Ah,
they aren't
damn.
exactly the same, but you'd be surprised how similar they are.
Nope, 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 nope. You gotta put the yellow circle right inside the blue circle. Let it all be green racism.
The over the top relationship of how everyone manages to both hate and be each other's best friends at the same time.
Oh, look at
The
that,
loudest,
friends.
longest
Hold up, hold up. Absolute monarchy but power rests with a warlord, tribal council, flawed democracy, military dictatorship, democracy dominated by race politics, junta, civil war, 100 families, democracy, one dominant party, junta but shares power with civilian parties, one party. Well, what is junta? Someone's gonna tell me what junta is. No, Serbia's not gay and Serbia hate gays. If you gay in Serbia, Serbia will bullying you. P.S. I'm from Serbia. Well, why's he got a gay profile picture? Hmm? Hmm? Hopefully there'll be many more conflicts in the former Yugoslavia, as I hate Slovenes, Croats, Serbs, Bosnians, Kosovars, Montenegrins, and Macedonians. I also hate Albanians, so hopefully there will be more death and bloodshed and hardship in years to come. That's how only Serbs celebrate Christmas with guns, same as their Turco-Arabic ancestors, which celebrate weddings with guns. I've seen videos of that. Nothing but a bunch of pagans. Have no real faith in God. God bless Croatia.
nationalistic fights about everybody trying to prove how their ancestors civilized everybody else's Neanderthal predecessors. Each region even has countries with similar positions too. Bulgarians and Macedonians fighting is like Malaysians and Indonesians.
I'm Greek, you're Western Bulgaria. Nazi Lemek is mine. I will see you. What?
Nobody cares except for the two parties involved. Slovenia and Singapore just count money while everybody is fighting, while Montenegro and Brunei never get mentioned. The most
Rip.
interesting thing for me is that even with all this fighting inside, they are best friends out of their own regions.
Aw, look at that. So wholesome. Racism, my beloved.
Like peak friend groups in Germany consists of at least 3 different Balkaners, and I've seen Thais and Cambodians be best friends in South Korea. So,
Interesting.
how did this unique form of racism develop in such different backgrounds of the world? Well, it's because they share a similar history, one
Okay.
filled with diverse ethnic and religious relationships, thousands of wars and historical conflicts.
I wonder what this means. Balkan Sea in the 1900s? What happened over there in the Balkans? Literally,
That
me
made
and
the
Mo's
Geneva
true.
Convention look like my thesis diaper.
By the way, chat, I never signed the Geneva Convention. You're all mine now.
While the intense racism in both the Balkans and
Pure Bulgarian male representation. Ah. An exchange student from Bulgaria. What is this? Bro did not hit puberty yet. 1900, the Ottoman Empire. Oh yeah. I heard the Ottoman Empire was around then. I don't actually know anything about the Ottoman Empire history.
Southeast Asia might be a little heavy for some. Don't worry. As some
Me after our Balkans IRL, maybe I should go check out that subreddit. I don't know if it'll be safe for stream though, but I definitely got him. Literally you IRL. No, I'm not. I'm much manlier than
recently
that.
enlightened by both the rich intellectualism of Southeast Asia and the Balkans, let's embark on a journey to understand racism.
Balkan Humor Guide. Okay, so this place is femboy, 9, gay, cockroach. Okay, I can confirm. You know, one of my mods is from Turkey. Yeah, I've definitely seen the cockroach joke. I believe Balkans IRL got banned for racism. What? But that's racist against Balkans. How dare they ban them? Nazi war crimes. Wait, they do what to goats? Excusez-moi? Doesn't exist. I don't even know what flag that is. This one is Muslim. These one are thieves. Yeah. I know a guy from Romania. He's also in the Discord. Believe it or not, we often have shall we say, you know, kind of like one of those one-up competitions guys like to do on each other, you know, where they try. But anyways, we will basically compare the bigger thefts and heists in each other's countries. So he'll be like, bro, in Romania, this one guy got his house stolen. I'm like, bro, in South Africa, we got an entire school stolen. He'll be like, bro, but then we stole, you know, 10 kilometers of road. I don't know, but like, bro, but we stole $2 million worth of copper. He's like, bro, yeah, it goes on like that. So Romanians and South Africans, shake hands. We love our thieves. Of course, we have the Mongolians with monkeys. I don't even know what flag that is. Is that the Empire of the Rising Sun? I don't know. Khmer Rouge, okay. Racist, I don't even know who they are. A Viet Cong. What is with all the femboys here? Too much. Sleep, okay. There's a lot of inside jokes that I don't understand here. Malaysia, okay. Finally a normal place. War crimes, OnlyFans, gay, North Thigh, who?
Racism in these regions together, and how racism might actually bring everyone closer to each other.
No racism here. We all hate each other, exactly. When everyone's racist, no one is.
Let's start by introducing the Balkans. Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Bulgaria, Croatia, Greece, Kosovo, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Romania, Serbia, Slovenia.
Average Slovenian male? What is this? What are they trying to say? They're trying to say I'm Slovenian? Diabolical. By the way, this exact pose of Astolfo can be found in, I think, a W place in South Africa, somewhere over Pretoria. And no, before you say anything, it wasn't me who drew it. You are Slovenian? No, I'm not. I do not look anything like this. Like, look, we're right next to each other. One looks like this femboy, and the one next to it on the right, me, looks like a manly Giga Chad. Just saying.
And Turkey. Together,
apparently Turkey is very patriotic. X would doubt? How dare you doubt me?
They make up the world's most alcoholic family. Like most alcoholics, they're really dysfunctional, as in they fight all the time, but they're also each other's best drinking mates.
How
you
wholesome.
might think it's the constant alcoholism that makes the Balkans fight incessantly, but it's actually their history where Balkan racism is made. You see, the Balkans share a rich and complex history that is all crammed in this relatively small region in Europe. As an Asian, I cannot hope to explain this history perfectly. But don't worry, any inaccuracies will be pointed out by Balkaners in the comments. Now, the reason for all this lore in the Balkans is because of its geography. The Balkans are located in southern Europe, sitting on the intersection between Asia and Europe, as well as being surrounded by a couple of seas, making it a mandatory checkpoint for trade and exchange of cultures.
Maybe it'll be nice and rich and diverse, you know? Maybe.
Acting as the gateway to Europe or Asia wasn't always just trade and cultures, though. It also filled the Balkans with many wars and conflicts. Here's
Diabolical.
just a few: Greece versus Persia, East and West Rome,
I
the
remember
Mongol
that.
invasion, Byzantine Empire and the Ottoman Empire, both world wars. Yeah, the Balkans have been through a lot. All this fighting and trade caused a constant movement of people, shaping the region to be the crossroads of many cultures, ethnicities,
I am Albanian. I am Albanian. I am Albanian. Three different dudes.
and religions. All this complex and diverse history makes it difficult even for peak Balkan intellectuals to come to a perfect understanding of their own history.
Let's see. We got the World War One, Byzantine, Seljuk War, Mongol invasion, the migration period, something something. Do you have any accredited sources for backing up your claims? No, based.
This is why one of the biggest parts of Balkan racism is basically fighting about which country's ancestors came first and spread civilization to the other barbarian cavemen in the rest of the Balkans. For example, Bulgarians say that they taught everyone how to read, Serbs say they are responsible of bringing Byzantine culture, Turks claim about how food in the Balkans is actually all Turkish, and Greeks talk about how Ataturk is Greek for the millionth time.
Who's Ataturk?
And the list goes on.
Nap
Now,
if you love
a few
Montenegro.
thousand
Okay. I'm gonna go sleep right now.
miles around the globe is Southeast Asia, where you can meet the ASEANs: Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia,
One Piece.
Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines,
I thought it was called Myanmar. Okay, my bad.
Singapore, Thailand,
Average thigh male. What is it with these average X-man and it's always a Stalfo for some reason? Maybe Slovenians are secretly Thai descendants.
Vietnam, and Timor-Leste.
Would 9. Do not the Fembozy.
They're not as alcoholic as the Balkans, but they're just as dysfunctional. They have a we hate each other equally, so we're the only ones allowed to bully each other dynamic going on as well.
Kind of like siblings. Older brother bully the younger brother bully the older sister, whatever. As soon as someone else from outside the family does the bullying, ooh, and they all gang up. I will explain in the server about Thailand. Okay.
Their geography is pretty similar too. Like the Balkans, Southeast Asia is also the intersection that connects huge civilizations together.
No, it connects Asia with the wilderness.
On land, they're bordered by China and India, while through sea, they act as the maritime gateway between Europe and Asia. Naturally, the
Never
region
mind.
became
I didn't realize it was going between Europe and Asia.
the center of global trade routes for centuries, also acting as the migration hub in Asia. Many trade-rich countries like the Khmer Empire and the Srivijayan Empire emerged from the mix of cultures, religions, and people from around the world.
I didn't even know about these empires, so okay, we're learning.
Of course, getting rich off trade meant that everybody else wanted to control over the region to get rich off themselves. Not
Makes
only
sense.
did ancient kingdoms constantly fight each other, China and Indian dynasties, Islamic sultanates,
India had dynasties? I don't know that. That's pretty cool. Come on, man, that was obvious. The Philippines was a Spanish hub for Asia. Look, I don't know history about the Asia, man. I don't know. I barely know history as is because I went to school in Africa, okay? They don't teach us much.
and Europeans constantly took turns dividing, conquering, and redrawing borders. All this chaos made the region extremely diverse. Over several hundred ethnicities and languages live side by side, with all four major religions present. Much like the Balkans, a big part of Southeast Asian racism comes from debating which pristine culture civilized the rest. Vietnam and Cambodia fight about who saved whose country all the time. Filipinos will claim they're the
Literally red paracetamol, bros. We found him. We got him.
world's most powerful race, while constantly watching some white girls OnlyFans.
Is this true? Paracetamol, are you watching some white girls OnlyFans?
Laotians hate Uncle Roger because Lao food supremacy, and
Who is Uncle Roger?
Timor-Leste is here somewhere. Now, some of you doubters may be thinking, does that mean the Balkans and Southeast Asians are just confused about their chaotic history? And first of all, If they knew English, you might start coughing in 3 days.
You will begin to cough in 3 days. Oh, that sounds like a big threat. Hell yeah, brother. Nine goon.
And secondly, no, it's because both the Balkans and Southeast Asians are very, very nationalistic.
Based, by the way. Based. You don't know Uncle Roger? I do not know Uncle Roger. I do know nationalism. Nationalism is very based.
Just go on their League of Legends lobbies and
Uncultured
you can find
pig! No! That's so mean! What do you mean uncultured pig? That's rude.
out yourself. Nationalism is the biggest reason the Balkans
Wait, what? Weirdly enough, both Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin were Albanians. This is why scholars sometimes refer to World War II as the 13th Albanian Civil War. Jesus is alive and healthy in the great country of Montenegro. I am from Bulgaria. Why? What?
are a big meme in the world today.
Take out the OnlyFans
It could be
American
the
thing?
same
Okay.
for SEA, but nobody understands their languages, Rip.
Opinie rig bagas yawa sekarang balik nguli. Opinie yik bagras sunda sekarang balik dagang simol.
I've already told you that both the Balkans
What?
and Southeast Asia have been through a lot of conflicts due to its location being stuck between massive civilizations. All the chaos from fighting and conquering meant that there was usually multiple empires that controlled different parts of each region. For a ruling empire, categorizing the region into religious or ethnic communities made it much easier to rule over the extremely diverse ethnicities and cultures.
Makes sense. See, you can't see why I don't like my neighbors. They don't speak English, which means I'm the civilized one. Yep. Despite the fact that you're all the same. You speak English, therefore you are
For the
civilized.
Balkans, this is especially true during the Ottoman Empire's rule. Before the Ottomans, the Balkans consisted of various empires, kingdoms, and tribal territories with their own
Okay, I know about the Byzantine history at least.
political autonomy, with
We must make a Byzantine great again. Convert to Orthodoxy, speak Greek, half Slav, Albanian, Kartvelian, a native Cypriot, and a Hittite. Yes, master. A Turk be like WTF. You are not genetically Turkic. Turkishness has nothing to do with ethnicity. You're just a Muslim Greek. Peninsular Greek, Northern Greek, Arvanite, Pontic Greek, Cypriot, Anatolian Greek. You will never be the real Turk.
overlapping religious and cultural traditions.
I bully my Turkish mod by calling him white.
Simply, this means that divides in the Balkans were mostly which side of the river you drank, and which version of Christianity your ruler told you to believe. When the Ottomans took over the Balkan region, they erased all the pre-existing borders and instead divided them up into arbitrary lines. And we all know what happens when you do that. The Ottomans used religion as a system to rule over others, creating a hierarchy with Muslims at the top, with Christians on the bottom.
Makes
If
sense.
you were a Muslim, you got to enjoy benefits in land, courts, and status, while if you're a Christian, you needed to pay more taxes and sacrifice your eldest son to become a
It didn't just happen over there in the Ottoman Empire.
unitary killing machine. Every region was then split into
I
religious
think the Umayyads and the Abbasids did the same thing.
communities called millets. Each were allowed a little autonomy, but were basically segregated for nearly 500 years. It's not that much different in Southeast Asia too. Remember when I said that the region is home to hundreds of ethnicities and languages?
Yep.
Naturally, that made Southeast Asia a sprawling landscape of kingdoms and sultanates, all fighting each other for influence over trade routes and whose religion is the best.
This actually reminds me of the Spider-Man point meme where it's just like 12 Spider-Men all pointing at each other. They're all the same and they're all blaming the other person.
This was all normal. As kingdoms fell and emerged, it became its own kind of ecosystem and international dynamics. Of course, everything changed when the colonizers attacked, and they did
It's always the French. They ruin everything, don't they?
what they do best, blending centuries-old kingdoms and dozens of other ethnicities into arbitrary borders. What ended up happening was you've had countries where former enemies and rivals were suddenly living in the same neighborhoods. For example, Khmers, Laos, and Vietnamese, who were each other's rivals for centuries, suddenly had to work side by side in French Indochina. On top of this, many colonizers brought millions of Chinese and Indian laborers into Southeast Asia, creating sudden new socio-ethnic classes on the already chaotic colonies.
Oof, this
Another
seems pretty big.
colonizer classic
How do you people survive such a melting pot of different ideologies is completely beyond me.
was to favor certain ethnic minorities into colonial elites to fuel resentment and prevent unified resistance. Some examples are Indian migrants were used as police for the locals and Muslims in British Malaya, or like how the Karen minority was given exclusive
Oh no, not the Karens. We hate Karens here.
military ranks over the Burman majority.
Okay, what is actually a Karen? When they talk about Karen minority, I'm assuming it's not those women Karens that we know about in the West. Well, I'm from South, but anyways. What exactly are Karens? I don't actually know. Well, what ethnicity is Karen people?
In Burma. In American terms, this would be like if you colonized Chicago and forcibly made people from LA and New York live as roommates, then brought over British and French as laborers while making Canadians rule over everybody.
They're all the same people to me.
As colonial powers became weaker, though, all the segregation, unequal social structures, and resentment fostered over the years exploded out into nationalist movements. Nationalism was indeed the natural response when your country is being taken over by a foreign force. However, even after their long awaited independence, these newly emerging nations went through excruciating post independence periods, just trying to piece together
Checklist. Government, judicial, legislation, infrastructure. That's a big
fragments in
checklist.
countries and systems. What usually ended up happening was just a lot of war, corrupt governments,
What is up with you guys and liking One Piece over there?
and inhumane massacres. Most
We actually went
post-colonial
well for a
governments
while?
just
Oh,
went for
sweet.
the true and try strategy of exploiting ethno-religious divisions to solidify their power, aka making policies that benefit the majority group and nationalism to gain their support. Most of the time, leaders would exploit the us vs them mentality by
Wait, his name is Pol Pot? Bruh, if your name was Pol Pot down here in South Africa, people would laugh at you.
portraying neighboring countries and minorities as national threats. In Europe, the entire 20th century was just pure chaos, especially for the Balkans. The Ottoman Empire's grip on the Balkan states were loosening, with many states fighting for independence in the Balkan Wars. That independence came at a cost of entire borders being redrawn completely, forcibly relocating entire populations. It didn't help at all that both world
I feel like you guys over there in the Balkans, you went through some heavy stuff.
wars had completely devastated the region, with mass atrocities committed.
Give me your Jews, fine. Give me your Jews, no. You did... What? Wait, hold up. If the Commandant has got a pain face, what did you guys do over there?
By fascist puppet states.
Oh no.
After all that disaster, the Balkans took a short intermission, where
Their
there
next
was
task is to create a peaceful and sustainable multi-ethnic state in the Balkans. I don't think that's going to happen, boys.
a period of peace, united as Yugoslavia by Joseph Tito and communism. After Tito died, though, it wouldn't take much for everything to just fall apart again. And surprise, surprise, leaders turned to nationalism yet again for power. Only this time, escalated tensions
The random guy with a cello in the rubble. Ah, that goes hard.
would explode into the Yugoslav wars. It was more or less a bloody contest to see who could ignore the Geneva Convention the most, with many battles and genocides. All the
That's a lot of racism over there.
fighting, dead people, broken homes, and genocide created massive displacement and deep mistrust.
Refugees and displaced by percentage of population. 90%? Dude, that's crazy.
Splitting up the region even more. It made sense for leaders to integrate nationalism into education, diplomatic, and economic policy.
Petition to bomb Serbia again? What? 18 million people have signed?
As they were just so widespread in the region. Such policies made it more difficult for reconciliation, and nationalism and racism was more encouraged at the time.
It didn't happen, they deserved it. This is not just your average Serb. I've seen some fellow Germans also take this side.
The 20th century was also a disaster in SCA, with colonizers changing from European to Japanese back to European in a few years. The post-war was extremely chaotic, as newly independent states struggled to rebuild from the ashes of World War II and decades of colonial rule. It's the same old story. Different groups competed to fill the power vacuum. Most used radical ideas of nationalism, attempting to stabilize and unite
Base nationalism, by the way.
a fragmented country. Malaysia, Indonesia, Myanmar.
I keep on reading it as Myanmar. Am I wrong? Is it actually Myanmar? Myanmar sounds like Myanmar.
Philippines, Cambodia, all of them. With all this instability going around in Southeast Asia, the region became a kind of breeding grounds for Cold War conflicts, where ethnic divisions kind of merged with ideological ones. Addition of major powers as patrons led to local disputes being further amplified. You'd be radicalized too if most of your neighborhood was bombed into the ground.
Are those all those black spots bomb drops? That's crazy. They go bombed into next Tuesday. Oh man, that is just sad and depressing. That is a whole lot of bombs. No wonder you guys over there in Southeast Asia and Balkans are so wild. You have to deal with so much nonsense.
Genocides in your next door neighbor,
Not us?
and
Okay.
border skirmishes still going on to this day. Indonesian communist leader Sukarno launched a war in the region.
Like when I think about it, as someone like not from there, I'm like ex-Balkan country and ex-Balkan country, maybe X and Y South Asian country going to. I'm like, why? Aren't they all just the same dudes who live next door? No, apparently not. Apparently it's a whole melting pot of multicultural religious differences with a whole baggage of history behind it. Hey, but I'm feeling enlightened.
Region because he was convinced that Malaysia was created to kill Indonesia.
Interesting conspiracy theory.
After his regime failed, Indonesia then spent their time massacring their own ethnic minorities instead. Myanmar went into its own disaster, where Buddhist nationalists led the ethnic cleansing on the
Wait, what? I thought the Buddhist guys were like Gandhi, you know, all peaceful and pacifist. Were they doing ethnic cleansing? What is going on over there?
Muslim Rohingyas, even to this day. All the complex ethnic tensions built throughout a history of exchange and conflict were heightened through over a century of colonialism. Then, they were radicalized through the post-war independence period, shaping the good old racism in these regions we know today.
We had a much smoother time post-war. Well, how's the sailing today in 2025? Still rough, or is it a lot smoother?
The crazy, over-the-top,
Oh, wait, what? Every Serb's daily routine: wake up, go to YouTube, type Albania, click on the first video, type Kosovo is Serbia in the comments, finish the rest of the day, repeat. I heard Singapore's Olympic gold medal winner maid is Filipino. Proud to be Pinoy.
degenerate nationalist comments,
No longer
fighting
schools?
over
Ah,
who
rip.
suffered more. Who is the superior civilization?
Many people do not realize how big Ottoman Empire was in the 16th century. Australia, Antarctica, Jupiter, Milky Way in Africa. Whew, it's huge. Balkan countries discussing anything. Balkan countries discussing the Ottomans. You guys just all hate the Ottomans.
Pointing which countries a NATO or
Wake up, NATO. We have Serbia to bomb again.
Chinese sellout. Loving atrocities and denying war crimes.
No, he's not denying the war crimes, he's confirming them. He's like, hell yeah.
All of this was shaped throughout its history. Here's the thing though. While racism is still a very real issue, it's become part of an unexpected story of regional unity. In both the Balkans and Southeast Asia,
They use racism to defeat the racism, boys.
generations have been shaped by histories of conflict, trauma, and rivalry. Yet, they've been turning their ironic nationalism and racism into memes.
Means to what ends?
Over time, as efforts for cooperation through regional frameworks like
Bro, they literally all look the same. How are you guys racist?
ASEAN, EU integration, and others,
Other Balkan countries trying to join the EU. Please, it's been a decade, let us join. Sorry, but you haven't completed the 165 requirements. Romania and Bulgaria, bro. Do you have any idea how they let you in? No, oh, me neither. Oh, memes, not means. Okay. Yes.
push each region for stability, modernization, and reconciliation, more and more generations are
Genociders! Land stealers! Meanwhile, in reality, Rakiga? Yes. I don't know.
stepping away from old
I don't know
historical
what that means,
grudges
but okay.
and have been creating a sense of unity.
Entire German economy, Balkaners working 3 jobs. Oof. At least Balkaners are hardworking. Indonesia versus Malaysia debate in 2010s. Malaysia is better. No, you literally stole our culture and sent terrorists into our own country. 2025, Malaysia is better. Yes.
Throughout their shared experiences. The more memes and social media poke fun at
Here's the memes.
stereotypes and nationalist pride, there's more conversation and friendship.
I've seen this meme so many times, and every single time it's true. I'm not racist, ooh woo. Meanwhile, her friend group is 12 white chicks with labubus. The dude who's like, yeah, I'm the racist white supremacist, turns out he's actually from India, and he's got friends from Greece, Turkey, Romania, Africa, Asia, you name it. Every time, boys.
Shared experiences with food.
Me spreading anti-migrant propaganda while eating kebab from the local Turk tastes amazing.
Corrupt governments, terrible infrastructure, and alcoholism give something people to bond over, both online and in real life.
I heard that the Greek candidate's apparently very corrupt. Stop explaining me, dude. I'm sorry.
All this is helping people move forward, showing that even the most historical enemies can be
Bro, they literally all look the same.
friends. In the end, maybe all this racism isn't just a tragic legacy, but a sign that these regions are finding ways to make peace with the past. Sometimes by laughing at it together. And also, apparently Serbia wants to join ASEAN, so you guys might actually be a family very soon.
Aw, how wholesome. You guys can finally be united across the world, across the globe. Your racism went beyond your location.
Thanks for watching another video made by my smooth brain. If you're interested in videos like this about Southeast Asia, please subscribe because more is definitely on the way. I hear this one in Cambodia is pretty decent.
Alright, that was an interesting history lesson. I liked it. I approve. 100%. We learned about racism today. My racism now has expanded. It has ascended to an advanced level far beyond human comprehension. Oop, coffee. I'm sure Red Paracetamol was more than happy to see that get reacted to on live stream. Now I can finally understand the Filipino mind.